Hello again, it's your friendly neighborhood host JT Wheatley back for another episode of the History Comics Podcast. This time another edition of Classics, continuing with our Sin City marathon with Sin City, The Big Fat Kill. This was the third volume in Frank Miller's classic Sin City series that that went from November of 1994 to March of 1995 for a 5-issue miniseries, in which now the hero from the last series, the Dame to Kill For, Dwight, finds himself mixed up in Old Town again when some bad dealings go down, and he has to help him out, even though his past with them is pretty shady. And sure enough, there are larger goings on with what exactly happened with the incident. You have to read the comic book to find out. But sure enough, there's some more bigger criminal conspiracies abound, as some people has their sights set in Old Town. This is a great expansion of the Sin City universe. You see Dwight, one of the continuing characters from the previous volume, come in, and also expands in the Old Town, which is essentially this private. It's almost like the red light district of Sin City, but it's run by the prostitutes and so forth. They're allowed to basically do what they want as long as they obey certain rules, and when those rules get broken, there are consequences. It's matched, of course, by some brilliant art by Frank Miller and some cool, just great crime noir situations in general. And of course, you get a great showcase of Miho, who's used the samurai ninja style defendant of Old Town, who dispatches anyone who tries to mess with the girls in just brutal fashion. It's a great read from beginning to end. And also, in a nice little bit, there's a nice hint of Frank Miller's love of the great Battle of the Thermopylae history that hints to his future work on his other classic work, 300. So yeah, if you're looking for something hinting at a future comic book of his, check out Sin City, The Big Fat Kill, which is another classic entry in the Sin City franchise.
Positive than a New Day pancake. More fun than a super kick party. It's the wrestling podcast from the host, who is the hammer swinging, burrito eating, well, you know the rest, of Thunder Talk. Sexy Thor. It's the Ring of Thunder, found in the Thunderverse and among the great podcasts of the ESO network.
Now it is November 17th, 2022. Time for the favorite comic of the week. Nightwing, number 98, by Tom Taylor and Danielle Di Nicola, which finds, after that crazy cliffhanger from last issue, we find out that Nightwing has developed an imp, which is a fourth-dimensional being who shows up, who are fans of many of the DC characters. So Mr. Plex is one of them, Batmite is one of them. Well, Nightwing has one too. It's Nightmite. And he's a giant fan of Nightwing, and after the more serious tone this series had, we have this hilarious one shot that actually fits in perfectly with the comic book so far. Tom Taylor is obviously having a blast with this new character of Nightmite, especially with how he comments on everything from Dick Grayson's relationships, pointing out that he actually likes Starfire over Batgirl as his girlfriend, which gets a great rival action from Batgirl, because she's right there when he makes this comment, to even saying that, hey, you should do something different with Blockbuster now that he's dead. And it's just a great read. And Nightmite is fun. He actually has a great interaction with Nightwing. He makes you go like, oh, he actually reveals some stuff about Dick Grayson that he didn't even think about. That, hey, but you should actually think about addressing. So it's a fun read, and it's masked by Di Nicola's gorgeous art, which both has a nice touch of realism, but it's still kind of cartoony, which is perfect for this more comical, mystical take. And all in all, this is just a great twist on what Tom Taylor's been doing with Nightwing, and all in general, because his run on Nightwing is probably one of the best runs of Nightwing ever, and I can't wait where he keeps going. Granted, he's probably going to end up with issue number 100, but hopefully he's on a high note, and this issue is no different. So yeah, easily one of the best runs of Nightwing, so definitely worth checking out. And with that, we'll conclude with this edition for the Classics for this week. Join me again next week for what's likely another edition of the Classics. And until then, go ahead and enjoy yourself a good comic book. If you can, check out Sin City, The Big Fat Kill, because that is a true classic.